Hello. This video is going to show you how to do a quick way to set up a new class in Google Classroom and then also show you how to post a new assignment. So this is for any teachers out there who are maybe unfamiliar with how to use Google Classroom. It's actually very, very easy to do these basic steps that I'm going to show you here. So the first thing you need to be is obviously logged on to your Google account and go over here to the grid, hit this and click around and, I just found it up there. Click around until you find Google Classroom and I'll wait till this comes on. And here I have 5 classes already created that I use at my actual teaching. But I'll create a quick class just to show you how to do this. So to create a class, first of all, you go over here to the plus sign and hit this, and I'm going to create a class. And let's give it a name, and I'll name it similar to the ones that are already there. So let's call this World History, and I don't have a first hour class listed, so why don't we call this World History First Hour? And just simply type in that. If I wanted to get more specific with it, I could always put my room number. I could put this, but I think that label will work there. So you just hit create and wait for it to create something. It takes usually about 30 seconds or so for it to come up with one. And there we have it up there. It just popped up over here on the left. And so now I have my new class. Now, the first thing I always like to do is I like to give mine a customized view here. I mean, you can always just use the defaults if you want to use a default theme that Google already provides. You can click around in all this. Here's English and history. I mean, they just in all sorts of different things. But I always like to use photographs for mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this background. But here you can see that it's all labeled here. So I'm going to go to upload a photo. And I've already gone through before I did the video. I already saved one. So here's some of the historical ones I've used. So I found this picture of the Mona Lisa because I teach the Renaissance. So we're going to click on that, and then you can save any picture that you want. Hit open, and it will upload it. And then here is where you don't have very much room here as far as to customize the picture because you only have that little band. But since we're talking about the Mona Lisa, we have to obviously capture her famous smile. So let's get her eyes and her nose and her smile there. And that looks pretty good to me for this. So then you go down into the bottom corner where it says select class theme. Click on that. And there we have the beautiful Mona Lisa is there as our new background. So there is that. So that's a very, very quick way to just set it up and kind of customize something that you want here. And then the other thing that I want to show you for this Google Classroom video, and this is again for teachers who might be unfamiliar, you can use Google Classroom for all sorts of things. You can assign homework, you can give tests through it and all this. But if you're just starting out with Google Classroom, what I really recommend is that you keep it fairly basic. So what you could use Google Classroom for is to simply make announcements for your students, post any work or notes that you may have given in a class period. And how you do this is right here in the middle. Google's kind of changed this in the last year or two. They've made it very, very easy, where it says share something with your class. So let's create a new announcement for this class. So here's this. And so you click on the middle there, and then it says for World History First Hour, all students. Now, if I only wanted this announcement to be for this hour, I could just hit it as is, but I have all the other classes. So you can go to this drop down window, and here I can click on whatever other classes that I want to share. If I want to share with all my other classes, I can do this. But since I don't want to do that for these classes, I'll just keep it with the first hour. So, but you do have the option there as far as sharing it with other classes. So there's that right there. And so I'm going to type this in, and let's say on this particular day, let's say that we were discussing World War II. And so I would say we took notes on World War II, and we also listened to a video clip of Winston Churchill's famous Never Surrender speech. Now, let's say that I want to attach. So there's the announcement. But now this is we have students that are absent, or maybe we're missing and didn't get all the notes in class. I want to attach a couple things. So here you attach, just like you would on an email. You find the paperclip, click on that, and you hit select files. And so now on my computer, I'm going to find my world history PowerPoints and just go down to where I found World War II. So let's get into World War II, the war. And then that's all set to go. You see where it's all there. Now I do so, and if I wanted to add more files, I could, but let's upload that. And it doesn't take very long to upload it usually. And so there it is. It's all set. So now any student who is missing anything, if they were absent, they have the code, which is up here, then they can go on this and they can see it. Let me get everything all posted and then I'll show you how it all looks. And then the other thing I mentioned that we watched this famous clip of Winston Churchill's famous Never Surrender speech. Now that I found on YouTube, which is up here. So now I need to attach the link so the students who are absent, they can listen to that link itself. So you go down to this link button here. And here we go to the Winston Churchill speech. And we don't want to play that right now, so luckily that's paused. And so we're going to copy the link for the speech, and we're going to go back to Google Classroom. And then we're just simply going to paste it there. And then where it says add link, that'll add the link right there. So now we've gone through this. So I'll go through it really quickly one more time to make an announcement. So you go into the share something with your class box, type whatever message you want to type in. And then if you want to add anything, if you want to add documents or anything like that, you go down to the paperclip, attach those, which I did right there. Any link you need that's as far as the internet goes, students aren't going to be able to see it unless you click on the link button itself. So you click on the link button, post it in there. Now, I'm happy with how this looks, so I'm going to hit post. And now look what I have right here. Here it even gives them a little thumbnail here about the notes for World War II. And then here is the link for the YouTube video. It even tells it's only 2 minutes long. But let's say that I'm a student, and so I want to go on this and see what notes did I miss in Mr. Geister's class today. And here's the beginnings of them right there. And I think there is a picture in this. Yes, there's Winston Churchill right there. So we took notes and discussed Winston Churchill. And so they can go through and they can get any of the notes that they missed. They can download these, they can print them off, they can just write them down in their notebooks if they need to. And so let's back out of there. And then we have the Winston Churchill video. If they want to play that, they can. I don't want the audio to come through, but there it is. So they can just play that. And if they want to watch it larger, they can always expand it and blow it up. And then they have exactly what they did in class that day and then they can just check it for themselves. So Google Classroom, when it comes to this, even just these very basic things, it's a very, very, very convenient tool. Especially I found to communicate with students that are absent. It's just a very, very, very convenient tool to keep them up to date. So that way they're not constantly tracking you down saying, what did we do in class day? What do you do in class day? We can just simply say, if you go to Google Classroom, you can find it all right there. And then everything is all posted. So that's just for a very basic startup video for one aspect of what you can do for Google Classroom. So in this case, setting up a new class and customizing the picture a little bit, and then also posting some lessons or whatever you did that day. So hopefully this helped you out as far as a very basic intro into Google Classroom.